Hello and welcome to my part of the leadership discussions. My part is challenge the process, which is chapters 6 and 7, and my name is Caleb Gonzer, and let's go right in. First off, we have challenge the process. Two main things that are two main ideas there is searching for opportunities by seizing the initiative and looking outward for innovative ways to improve. Experiment and take risks by consistently generating small wins and learning from experience, and that can be found on page 138. Next, we have the first chapter, chapter 6, which is search for opportunities. Jacqueline Martens believes that you can build great company if the customer is the center of all we do. So that means being a customer centric organization, tending to what the customer needs, things of that nature. And the search for opportunities and leaders who embrace it have two things that happen: they seize the initiative and they exercise outsight. First off, we have seizing the initiative. Uh, in a quote by Sunny Song, you have to take initiative, dare to challenge the system, and find creative ways to do things. This is very important as I believe that seizing an initiative can be very beneficial for organizations. Leadership is connected with the process of innovation, which brings up new ideas, methods, or solutions. And by seizing the initiative, you can do these things to seize the initiatives by making something happen, encouraging initiative in others, and challenging with purpose. And I will go over these here right now. First off, making something happen. Excellent leaders understand that if the same things are done over and over again in an organization, then the organization can't get to a better place. You have to try something new. Maybe you're stuck in that same thing over and over again and it's not working. Well, you got to shift to something new to see if you can benefit from that new challenge or that new initiative like we've been talking about. Leaders, excellent leaders, don't wait for permission. They make something happen when something isn't working, like I said. They create a solution, they gain trust from their constituents, like their employees, and then they put in place the desired outcome. And that's why successful organizations are like that, because they have leaders that do this. And research shows that people who are proactive are the most effective leaders. Next, we have encouraging initiatives in others. Leaders seize the initiative themselves while also encouraging initiative in others. And they want leaders that are like that want people to speak up, offer suggestions, and be straightforward with constructive criticism. This is very simple. Excellent leaders like to get feedback from their employees so they can get a better understanding of what people lower than them are wanting uh, for the organization. And conditions like generating a can-do attitude can have your constituents or employees be willing to seize initiatives. Like, I can do this. I will do this. No can'ts. Nothing was ever done with can'ts. And also, finally, for encouraging initiative of others, initiatives can also be encouraged by having access to role models who successfully meet challenges. And this has to do with also peers. Good examples, people who have been successful with uh, doing initiatives or taking initiative with new challenges to improve their organization. And finally, with this, we have challenge with purpose. Purpose is a very powerful source of motivation for which many people can't preserve for very long without it. Leaders don't challenge just to challenge, they challenge to desire to take action for the better of the organization. People who are challenged are they love the challenge and they can get more things done with that challenge. Studies provide convincing evidence that reliance on extrinsic motivators can actually lower performance, like not initiatives, like incentives, and create a culture for divisiveness and selfishness because it diminishes the inner sense of purpose. And that's straight from the book. People start to get those incentives. They just want more money, and it's not more about the team. It's more about I. There's no I in team. Next we have exercise outsight. Leaders have to look for signs and listen to the weakest signals to also anticipate the exposure of something new in the future. So let's say a company, there's something that's tearing them down. Leaders have to look for that, and when they find it, they have to find something new that can replace that can make the company more successful. And ways that leaders can exercise outside would be looking outside of your experience, listening to and promoting diverse perspectives, and treating every job as an adventure. Looking outside of your experience, researchers discovered that while shadowing senior executives, that most successful leaders are not waiting for new information to come to them, but rather they're out and about, being knowledgeable and understanding steps. They're finding out, they're asking questions, they're researching, they're experimenting. And leading by asking questions allow these leaders to look outside of their own experiences. They can't just be in their own space, in their own. We learn from others, which promotes external and internal talks, which ultimately find new innovative opportunities for the organization. Ultimately, and innovation requires more listening and better communication than normal. That's why these excellent leaders and organizations that are successful, these leaders are asking questions, they're listening to their employees, and that's just what makes them successful. It's the little things that matter. Next, we have listen to and promote diverse perspectives. Leaders who are successful need to encourage the sharing of information by all stakeholders of the organizations. They need to know what others think, not just what they think of the organization. Successful leaders also need to be receptive of different ideas from those people, no matter where it comes from. They also need to be using the knowledge they gain to create an effective solution to the problem that maybe is hindering their organization. An example would be taking a perspective of someone who frustrates you or irritates you. These people also have something to teach you. And seeking advice from others to the shared knowledge across the organization can also strengthen interpersonal relationships within that organization, which can be very beneficial in the long run. Next, we have treating every job as an adventure. Treat today as if it was your first day at work. Ask yourself, what would you do? Be an adventurer and also an explorer. Take a field trip somewhere. Visit people in a function, department, or location or client that intrigues you. Make idea gatherings part of your routine schedule, whether it be daily, weekly, or monthly. This can help understand where other people are coming from in the organization and better your organization altogether. And shop at a competitor store. Know what your competitors are doing. Be innovative. Be creative. And I said, you don't have to be the top dog of an organization to be aware of what's going on around you. Others can lead, and I've learned this from my team. You don't always have to be the captain to be the leader. It's a very good life lesson. You can always lead, no matter what your job title is, no matter where you are in the ranks. Experiment and take risks. This is chapter 7. This is also a quote by Chris Hintz on page 165. Leaders are not afraid to take risks and step outside their comfort zones. To be extraordinary, you have to do things that haven't been done before. All these extraordinary people in history, doesn't matter what job or what they're doing, they've done things that haven't been done before. And you can see it with everything. Exemplary leaders that commit to experiments and taking more risks make extraordinary things happen by doing the following. They generate small wins and they learn from experience. Generating small wins and being able to get people to do something that has never been done before means that you have to make progress incrementally. And this makes progress even more because you're doing those small things that progress you to do the bigger thing. The small things matter, like I've said. This means that there should be a creation of forward momentum by generating those small wins. Small wins make the project seem doable and within the parameters of existing skills and resources. Small wins generate a good morale and have your employees feeling good about themselves, which makes them be able to finish a bigger project, if you will. Building psychological hardiness. According to psychologists, people who have experienced high degrees of stress but cope in a positive manner have an attitude about them called psychological hardiness. And three critical factors to building psychological hardiness include commitment, control, and challenge. And the ability to cope with change and stress depends on your own viewpoint, whether you can have a good commitment, whether you can control your emotions, whether you can challenge yourself. These are all things and factors that can go into your psychological hardiness that you need for an organization to be successful. And breaking it down and accentuating progress, there's a big appreciation from leaders that break down big problems into smaller doable actions, like those small wins. The small wins approach apparently fits well when working in volatile and uncertain and complex times. The tension's high. Oh, you get a small win. Congrats. That uplifts the morale of the whole company. Exemplary leaders accept reality. They do not accept defeat, while also they don't become consumed with self-pity and grief. They regroup, they reassess, and they go forward in phases that can propel the organization into those bigger successes of bigger projects. Challenging the status quo and experiencing with new innovative ways, this is learning from experience, there will be failures. Engaging in something new and different, there will be mistakes to be made. Experimentation is all about trial and error. You gotta do stuff to experience stuff to know what you can do and can't do, what works and doesn't work, it's basically just learning. We've all learned from past experience, whether it be bad or good experience. I've learned a lot of experiences from the soccer field, and also being just growing up in life and becoming an adult, or transitioning from college to a more professional career, or with relationships in life. And learning from an experience involves the following: being an active learner, creating a climate for learning, and strengthening the resilience and grit. Being an active learner, leaders, this is a quote from Kouzes and Posner, leaders with a learning orientation are readier to embrace ambiguity, complexity, and the paradigm shifts that go along with experimentation and leadership. Learning is a great skill to have. We all love to learn. It's a predictor of success in the future with new and different managerial jobs. And developing a growth mindset, there needs to be embracing that challenge is a catalyst for learning. So being an active learner, not being closed off to new ideas or certain viewpoints can hinder, but being an active learner can exponentially grow your company. A creation for a climate of learning. There's a paradox that in order for people to take risks, they must feel safe first. So psychological safety is a workplace characteristic. People are scared to ask questions because they don't know or they don't want to seem like they're stupid, or they don't know something. That's unrealistic. We can learn something new every day, and by having that, there needs to be a climate for learning where people can take risks by asking questions, and they have to feel safe. Organizations that foster learning and innovation have time for their employees to work on things outside their formal responsibilities, like learning about something new or learning about other things. Creating a climate of learning also involves helping people to think about what certain risks mean to them. Is that risk worth it? Is it not worth it? Can they get through it? Do they feel safe with that risk? Things of that nature. And finally, we have strengthens resilience and grit. Resilience, grit, and hardiness are all mental states that have to do with how stress, disruption, uncertainty, ambiguity, and change in people's lives. Highly resilient employees miss fewer work days, have higher job satisfaction, stay on the job longer, and also have better health. I'd like to say I have pretty good resilience from past experiences in my life, which have made me a better person, and a better worker or things of that nature. But sometimes resilience is hard when things are not going your way. Resilience and grit can be developed and strengthened much like the hardiness and growth mindsets. We just have to all be together, and we have to have a greater understanding of what resilience means. Because everybody goes through hardships. The most famous people you know have gone through hardships, and they are successful because that challenge and and how they were resilient to that bad thing happening in their life made them a more successful person. Next, we'll have examples from Tuesdays with Morrie, but we'll take a little break here to get my notes situated. And here we go. Some examples with Tuesdays with Morrie. First, making something happen. An example there is Mitch reconnecting with Morrie. Initiating contact. Mitch makes a significant decision to reconnect with his former professor, Morrie, after seeing him on a Nightline interview. And not even on purpose. It was accidentally flipping through the TV and he heard it. This action rekindles their relationship that they had once in college and sets the stage for the profound lessons that Mitch will learn from Morrie in his dying days. And commitment to visits, those Tuesdays. Mitch commits to visiting Morrie every Tuesday, which transforms Mitch's whole routine and priorities, as well as those writer's strikes in Detroit. By taking time off from his busy work schedule, Mitch makes a conscious effort to engage in meaningful conversations and personal growth with Morrie and himself. Encouraging initiative in others. Mitch's decision to write Tuesdays with Morrie. Sharing Morrie's lessons. Mitch takes initiative by writing Tuesdays with Morrie despite initially being unsure about it. Morrie encourages to do so, seeing the potential to share the lessons with a wider audience. This encouragement leads Mitch to take a proactive steps in publishing the book, which spreads Morrie's wisdom to countless readers. Next, we have challenging with purpose. Morrie's lessons on death and purpose. Death as a teacher for Morrie. He uses his impending death, ALS, as a powerful lesson to the importance of living with purpose. He believes that understanding and accepting mortality can help individuals focus on what truly matters in life. And I think that death has done that for me personally in my life, seeing others and close relatives pass away. I've really understood the matters in life, and I think that's what sets me different from other people. I know everybody has loss, but in my personal experiences, I understand how big life is and how short life is and how important interactions or relationships can be. And also, there's a legacy of love and learning. Morrie's purpose becomes leaving a legacy of love, understanding, and wisdom, as he was not experiencing any of these when he was a kid. He saw his mother die, his dad died, but his dad also didn't talk to him. The only role model was his stepmother, who did a lot for them. His determination to teach these lessons to Mitch and through Mitch broaden an audience and underscores this theme of finding purpose even when you're at the brink of death or the face of death, as Morrie is with the ALS. Also, looking outside of your experience. Morrie's lessons on love and relationships. There's global themes of love. Morrie's discussions about love, marriage, family, and friendship are framed in a way that apply universally. He draws on his own experiences, like those bad experiences, but emphasizes that the need for love and connection is a fundamental human experience, which was why he treated his kids so differently than what his own dad treated him. And there's also interpersonal connections. Morrie talks about the importance of forming a deep and meaningful relationship, a lesson that extends beyond his personal life to a broader human context. He believes that these connections are what give life purpose and meaning, and I also feel that too. Having those strong connections with people, even if you go through rough patches, even if you end on bad terms, those connections mean a lot. And that's why I feel like in today's world, there's not many of those connections. Everybody just know each other, or just like, yeah, talking for a little bit and it doesn't mean anything. That's why I feel like some people are so different, and that's where I am at. I feel like every connection I make is something meaningful to me, and I hope you guys feel the same way. Also, listening to and promoting diverse perspectives. Morey's multicultural and interdisciplinary approach. Drawing from various philosophies, Morey frequently references a wide range of cultural, philosophical, and religious traditions during his discussions with Mitch. There's Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, and other spiritual teachings to provide a comprehensive view of life and death. This reflects his respect for diverse perspectives and his belief in the value of cross cultural understanding. And that's something this world has also gotten away from. Understanding different perspectives can go a long way. Like we heard at graduation, those acronyms that B. Martin, GRAD, talked about. Interdisciplinary insights. Morey's teachings often draw on sociology, psychology, and literature, demonstrating Morey's holistic approach to understanding human behavior and societal norms. He integrates different academic disciplines. Morey promotes more rounded and inclusive view of the world. Morey is a very well-rounded person and understands various cultures and various viewpoints, which is what I strive to be as well. And it is what can make leaders or managers more likable or more understanding or more successful in an organization. Next, we have treating every job as an adventure. Morey's approach to life changes. There's an adventurous spirit in facing illness. Morey approaches his battle with ALS with an adventurous mindset. Instead of succumbing to the disease or like being sad about himself, he embraces the challenges as a final opportunity to learn and teach. He explores the emotional and physical dimensions of his illness, turning his experience into a journey of discovering and teaching. There's also finding joy in small things, like those small wins. Morey finds adventure in the simple aspects of life, even as his physical abilities decline. He cherishes those conversations with people, including Mitch. He cherishes his music in the presence of loved ones coming to visit, like his sons. Treating these moments as precious adventures that bring joy and meaning to his life that is going to end shortly. And building psychological hardiness. Morey's acceptance of his illness. There's a commitment to living fully. Despite challenges or his diagnosis with ALS, Morey remains committed to living his life fully and meaningfully. He continues to engage with friends, family, and former students, showing that there's a strong sense of commitment to his relationships and role as a mentor. And there's control through perspective. Morey exercises control over his situation by choosing how he responds to his illness, focuses on the aspect of life that he controls, like his attitude and the way he spends his time, rather than being sad about what he can't change, his disease. This helps him maintain a sense of agency and resilience, and viewing illness as a challenge. Morey does not view his illness as a defeat, but as a challenge to be faced with courage and grace. He uses it as an opportunity to teach others about life and death, using his experience as a final, profound lesson to Mitch. Breaking it down and accentuating progress. Morey's approach to ALS, breaking down the illness. Morey deals with the overwhelming nature of ALS by focusing on small, manageable tasks each day instead of being paralyzed by the entirety of his condition. He breaks it down into daily routines and milestones, and this helps him maintain a sense of control and purpose. And he celebrates the small victories, like I've talked about so much in this presentation. He emphasizes the importance of small victories, such as being able to enjoy a favorite meal or having a meaningful conversation. By accentuating these moments of joy and progress, he maintains a positive outlook on life despite his declining health. Next, we have being an active learner. Morey is a lifelong learner. He learns from his illness, which with ALS, he remains curious and active. He continuously seeks and understands about his condition that affects his body, his emotional impact on it, and this allows him to teach others about living and dying with grace. There's a philosophical exploration about it, and well, like I said before, he actively engages in philosophical exploration, drawing from Buddhism, Christianity, and literature, and willingness to learn from different perspectives. In his adaptation and growth, despite his declining health, Mori adapts to new challenges and learns to find meaning and joy with his limited capacities. For example, he learns to appreciate simple pleasures such as listening to music and engaging in deep conversations. And he also creates a climate for learning. Mori's approach to teaching, and Mori has an open and safe environment. He creates a safe and welcoming environment for learning both in his classroom and during his sessions with Mitch. He tries to open up Mitch. He tries to open up his class by those uncomfortable talks. I've had a teacher here, Dr. Ray Sylvester, used to have those uncomfortable talks with us about having an opening for ideas or other ideas and perspectives. He encourages open dialogue where students feel comfortable about sharing their thoughts and emotions without fear or judgment. And Mori encourages curiosity. He fosters an atmosphere of curiosity and inquiry. He encourages students, including Mitch, to ask questions and explore deeper meanings of things, helping them to engage with material and with life's big questions. And the final examples from Tuesdays is Mori with the leadership challenge as the strengthening of resilience and grit. Mori's resilience in facing ALS and maintaining positivity. Despite being diagnosed with ALS, Mori maintains a positive outlook on life. He faces his illness with courage and grace, refusing to let it define him or dictate his happiness. Adapting to physical limitations as Mori's physical condition deteriorates, he demonstrates resilience by adapting to his new limitations. He finds creative ways to perform everyday tasks and to continue engaging with life to his best ability. And he finds a meaning in suffering. He finds meaning in suffering by using it as an opportunity for growth and learning. And that's also why what one of our commencement speakers said, find something in your suffering. He views his illness as a chance to impart wisdom on others and deepen his relationships with his loved ones. And here are my references. It's both Tuesdays with Mori and the Leadership Challenge. And I thank you guys very much, and I'll have your discussion, what you guys should be discussing, very soon in the discussion board. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation.